Serious question. Why is Anthony Joshua babied in boxing? We're going to talk about that in this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you guys throw a like on the video. It goes a long way when you guys do that. Please smash the like button, and it encourages others to find the video. Somehow, some way you guys found the video, so help others find this content by smashing the like button, leaving a comment, and sharing. Now, I had to make this video because I have some questions regarding Anthony Joshua. As you guys all know, if you follow boxing, Anthony Joshua, he just lost to Alexander Usyk. Brilliant stuff from Usyk. Usyk, the smaller man, did not fight like the smaller man. Usyk stepped to Joshua. He didn't run. He was right in Joshua's wheelhouse. And he was very crafty, stealthy, clever, getting off, picking Joshua off at, a mid-range. And Joshua really had very little answers. Now they're saying, yet again, just like the Andy Ruiz fight, that Joshua had a rematch clause and that he's going to initiate or trigger the rematch clause, and he feels he knows he can beat Usyk in the rematch. Big problem. The big problem with this is, from where I'm standing, this was far from what happened in the Andy Ruiz fight, right? And I've stated this in my past live streams. You can do whatever you want. It's your career, but this is going to be a different moment for Anthony Joshua, and I think it's much unlike the Andy Ruiz situation. For example, the Andy Ruiz was a guy you were never even supposed to be fighting. You weren't supposed to be fighting him. He wasn't the initial original opponent. That was Gerald Big Baby Miller. You took a opponent on the late switch that you weren't training for. So by default, you have a bit of an excuse. I don't want to say excuse, but, for lack of a better word, an excuse to why you had a tough time or you lost, because you didn't have a full camp for this particular style or guy. Another major difference is that in the Ruiz fight, he outweighed you. Usyk, it's the opposite. You outweighed Usyk by 20 plus pounds, come fight night. And the other major difference is you never really hurt Usyk. Like, I'm not saying he didn't feel any of the shots, because he was fighting a bigger man. So you didn't visibly hurt him to the point of Usyk wilting and looking like he was about to go. And you're the bigger man, physically bigger, you're supposed to be stronger, and you got backed up all night. Versus Andy Ruiz, it was really kind of, and I'm not taking away from Ruiz what he did, but that was kind of a careless mistake. You drew first blood, hurt Ruiz, dropped him, and it looked like it was going to be a typical Anthony Joshua fight at that particular time, where he was demolishing guys, and he got a little bit too big for his bridges, and he underestimated the wounded Ruiz, and he tried to jump on him, and he got caught with the counter, short counter, and he was concussed the remainder of the fight. So he kept going down and things like that. This was totally different, because Alexander Usyk was dog walking you, outthinking you, outmaneuvering you, outspeeding you, beating you to the punch, beating you with the steps, and he was like toying with the bigger person. So this is a totally different loss, in my opinion. This loss is going to be harder for Joshua to come back from. Now, Joshua's team, they said they're interested in a rematch in possibly February 2022. And Rob McCracken, who's the current trainer of Joshua, says, this is a direct quote, "There is no drawing board to go back to. You've got to apply pressure with your jab and your right hand, and you got to keep Usyk off balance. And you've got to put shots together when you get there. Usyk is a good boxer, and Anthony Joshua is still learning on the job. And if he applies himself, he will get the right result in the rematch." Now, for me, as a lifelong boxing fan, that is highly concerning. And this is how I started the video. Why is Anthony Joshua being babied as if he's this young, spring chicken. Anthony Joshua was born in the late 80s. He was born in 1989. He is 31 years old, right? He is 6'6". He's fought and at times weighed 260 pounds. What on earth are you talking about? He's a gold medalist in the Olympics, and they're talking about he's still learning on the job. Bro, if I was Joshua, I would fire Rob McCracken and the whole team. I'm not Joshua, so I can't make that decision. But Joshua, it is very apparent to me that he has a lot of yes men in his corner. And everybody's just trying to, no one's trying to create any waves. If I was Joshua, I would create a wave. I would fire most of my people. There was a scene after the Usyk fight where Joshua sat down as if he was coming out for another round, and the fight was over. And then he was surrounded by 8 to 10 people. And I'm like, who are all these people? They can't all be ringside physicians and doctors. So I'm assuming those are people on his team. How do you have 8 people on your team and you guys appear lost? You don't seem to be knowing what you're doing. Now, I've called for Joshua to come to America and link up with anybody, like a Floyd Sr. Floyd Mayweather seemed pretty cool when he was in the UK and he met up with Joshua. He could have linked up with a Floyd Sr., but he chose to stay to UK, stay where his loyalties lay. But I gotta just say, and I keep saying this, a lot of people have this misnomer, misconception about loyalty. What is loyalty to something that isn't loyal to you, or something that's not conducive to your growth? He wants to stay loyal to Rob McCracken and the people he has, but he looks the same. He looks stiff, lax. I predicted this fight to a T. I picked Usyk. I said he lacks fluidity. Joshua's rigid, and he looked the same. He looked robotic. He looked the same. So I knew Usyk would beat him. I knew Usyk would give him major, major problems. Even in the event he didn't beat him, he would look exposed. This is what I said. And Usyk, he stamped out a great win, and he didn't fight like the smaller person. And Joshua, he could come with all these haikus and captions and say, oh yeah, I'm not going to hold myself down. I'll uplift myself. Man, none of that matters. In the rematch, I'm picking Usyk. Joshua, at this point, the way his team acts, I have no faith. You have a 6'6" gigantic man, right? And his team is saying he's still learning on the job, and he's an Olympic gold medalist. I mean, how long? So Oscar De La Hoya is a accomplished, storied boxer. He was also a gold medalist. Nobody training De La Hoya at any point, from Nacho Beristain to Floyd Sr., had to say Oscar De La Hoya is still learning on the job. Sure, if you're a boxer, you're always learning new things in sparring or learning, as you fight. But to publicly say, oh, he can get the right result, but he's still learning, that's alarming, because you're making it sound like he's Ryan Garcia or somebody who's 23 years old, or somebody, Keyshawn Davis. He's a grown 31-year-old man, and you're talking about he's still learning, and he's been a 2-time champion. That sounds highly weird, and I feel like there's a level of truthfulness that is not apparent in his team. So I don't know how Joshua is going to achieve the results and beat the elite at heavyweight at this point if that remains constant. That's my 2 cents. Let me know what you guys think, how I did in this video. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.